Hi and welcome. I'm Elvire from the Dimitar piano duo, and today I want to give you a basic lesson on technique. Now I got this idea thanks to Colleen actually sending us in a video that we gave some feedback on. So I would really encourage you to send us some videos so that we can really see what you need. From the video we understood that you could really benefit from some technique videos, because it's tough when you're self-taught to get the hang of the technical aspects of piano playing. So before you watch this video, if you haven't watched my video on posture, actually check it out here, because that is the first thing that, honestly, that is the thing that a good technique starts with. When I was teaching in Corona times, I taught my students online, and it gave me an opportunity to actually see my students at home. And I would say at least 50% of them were sitting incorrectly, despite that they come to the lesson and they know how they should be sitting. So I would really encourage you to watch the video and to absolutely try to always get a good posture when you're sitting behind the piano. Because without a good posture, actually, you're already at a disadvantage as far as technique goes. Okay, so let's jump into the video. We're going to talk about how to place your hand on the keyboard, and we're going to do a basic scale together. Okay, so once you've made sure that your posture is correct and you're sitting at the correct distance from the piano, let's talk about how to put your hands on the piano. So I'm going to show this to you with my right hand. And the first thing that you have to do is actually to place your hand on the keyboard. And you're going to place your hand, many people say, as if you're holding something, and as if you're holding an apple, a round object, right? Dimitar likes to describe this as in that your fingers should be hanging. I like that also very much, that description. And you want, I discussed this in the posture video as well, you want approximately your arm to be level with parallel with the floor, and you want approximately your wrist to be at the same height as your arm. So what you don't want, this is something I see really often, the wrist being lower than the hand. That's something that you don't want. I see this is a habit I see very often. You also don't want it higher. You don't want to have it sticking out. You don't want your hand to wrist to be a lot higher than both your arm and your hand. You want it approximately to be level. Now you don't need to get a ruler or anything like that. Also try to suss out what feels natural to you, because everybody's body is different. But these are approximate rules that you can keep to. So once you've gotten that, let's talk about how far into the keys you have to place your hand. This is another habit that I see very often going wrong, is that we pull our hand way too much toward us. Very often I also don't see people's thumbs on the keys. I even sometimes see them like this. So I don't know if you can see it from the camera, but it's not on the keyboard. So one of the reasons why very often people pull their hands too much towards them is also because the thumb is not on the keyboard. So what we want is we want our hands to be a little bit further in the keys towards this side of the piano. And one way to achieve that, a little trick to achieve that, is also to make sure that your thumb is always on the keys. Now, all keys have to be played with the tips of your fingers. Except the thumb. With the thumb we play more towards the side of the nail here, because of course we can't play with the tip of the thumb. So all of the fingers, try to make sure that you're really feeling that tip of your finger on, that it makes a good contact with the keyboard, and then the thumb on the side. So once you've got your basic posture and you've got your hand position right, I think that's already a really, you have a good start in the technical area. So you got a good start for a good technique now. Let's explore with these things. Let's start exploring a basic scale. Now, with a basic scale, I mean a 1 octave scale. And we're going to do the following. We are going to play 8 notes, right? And we have 5 fingers, so that means that we're going to have to change fingering. What we're going to do with the right hand is we're going to play 1. I'm starting on the C in this case. We're going to play 1, 2, 3, and then underneath you're going to put your thumb under your third finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now this time you put your third finger over. 3, 2, 1. So that is what the basic scale is. Now, there's several things that you have to be aware of technique-wise. The first is to, when you're playing, not to start pulling your fingers again. So one thing is to not pull your fingers towards you when you put your hands on the keyboard. The second thing is to actually make sure they stay there while you're playing. So once you don't play your thumb anymore, make sure that you don't pull your fingers towards you. Make sure also that you don't lower your wrist while you are playing. So one of the difficulties actually of playing a scale is the moment, the transition, right? From in this case, the third finger towards the thumb going under. That is the difficult part of the scale. So there's two things that are important technique-wise. First thing is, prepare the turn. So if you are going to play the turning, the thumb underneath, without any kind of preparation, that is very difficult because suddenly you'll need to twist your hand. In order to avoid that, make sure that as soon as the thumb is ready playing, you're already turning it towards where it needs to go. So that is one thing, preparation. You'll see that generally preparing things, knowing what's coming in advance, is a very important aspect in piano technique. Now the second thing, when you're playing a scale, is what is difficult in piano playing is of course the different lengths of your fingers. Your thumb is the most short of all your fingers, so that means that when you're putting your thumb underneath, because it's so short and you're playing it with the side, you would automatically, if you don't adjust, fall down. Now if you fall down, this automatically happens with an accent. So if you don't adjust technically, you would get this, because of the difference of the length of your fingers. So what you need to be very careful is not only prepare the thumb, but also make sure that you don't fall down on it. So make sure that you keep it high enough that you don't fall down on it, you don't get an accent. Now going back is actually a little bit easier. What you need to do once you get to the turn is make the turn in a controlled movement. Not a sharp movement, just a controlled movement. And once again, make sure that you play on the tips of your fingers, that you don't move your whole hand down once you get to the thumb. So make sure that you keep that good hand position. Make a slow, controlled movement in the turn. And once again, don't fall down when you're on the thumb. So I think that this is already a good start in technique, in basic technique. And I hope that a lot of you will start sending in videos so that Dimitar and I, that we know even better what content is useful to you. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a like. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and share the video with other people. You can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and on TikTok if you want to. You can hear us playing, and also you can hear Dimitar's wonderful music. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.